and welcome to those of you who are joining us from Facebook. I put this slide up on Facebook for you so you can take a look, so you don't have to worry about what we're doing here. You have that on Facebook, so go ahead and download that as well. Thanks for coming here today. So, this day is Mother's Day. And the talk title for today is Love Will Out, which means love always stands. It is endless. It never dies. And we are here today to celebrate mothers. And I want to tell you that this is not about, let me back up. There's three things that I want to celebrate first, and then I'll come back to this other thing. We want to celebrate a mother's love. And what a mother's love does for us, it shapes us. It shapes us into who we are and who we believe we can become. It builds unshakable confidence in what we can do. To be loved unconditionally by someone that we call mother builds unconditional and unshakable love and confidence within us. And it never fails. It's never ending. Nothing will stop a mother's love from reaching you, not even death. Nothing stops it. Oprah talks about this picture that she has, and it's called To the Highest Bidder. And you can Google it and see what she talked about. But the reason why I put it up here was because of this mother standing here with her daughter. And this is a picture of a slave about to be sold, but that's not the point. The point is, what Oprah was talking about, and what I want to say here, is that we are all standing on the shoulders of the women who came before us. That's all. We are, every room that I walk into, every place that I go, the women who loved me are with me. The women who loved you your whole life are with you. You guys, why are you guys standing up? We're going to sing after this is done.
Oh, we're supposed to hang out with you.
Oh, you can dance. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you guys were even still there. I'm just talking like, what's going on? Why is the band here? I'm going to be here until I talk to the talk, so you can probably, bail. Sorry. I'm going to do this at the end. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Yeah, you guys.
It was just the longest one. Yeah.
I don't mind sharing the stage. I'm like, you're going to get tired. So we are standing on the path of our forebears. It's important that we continue to celebrate our mothers, their spirits, and to always know that that spirit of your mother, whether she's physically with us or not, is always with us. It never fails. It never ends. And when I talk about mother, I'm talking about a title. I'm not talking about the birthing process. It is not about whether you physically birthed someone. It's about whether you cared and loved unconditionally for someone. I ran into someone yesterday, and it was wonderful. He's an author. His name is Johnny Tan. I hope to be able to invite him here to speak to us on our Wednesday night experience. But he wrote a book called My Mama's Kitchen, and he talks about his 9 mothers. 9 women who helped him. He's an immigrant, who helped him when he came over here to the U.S. at the age of 18, and most of them Southern women. Some of them were foreigners as well, German or whatever. He talks about in his book the 9 women that he calls mom. So it has nothing to do with the birthing process. It has to do with the fact that we nurture, women nurture, and fill in the gap for where a mother's love is needed. And so I talked with some friends and some people and wanted to say, what defines a mom? And of course, it's undefinable. But we were able to come up with some words to describe what we think about when we think about mom, or whoever you call mother. And it's not an exhaustive list, but I didn't want to keep you here all day. So I limited the words that we chose and what we're using, but I was watching a Grey's Anatomy, and I just watch this over and over. I love it. I over and over, I know this thing. I could probably just stand up here and do every piece of it because I watch it so much. But there's one part where Owen, who's the redheaded military guy, his mother. So Owen's wife, Amelia, is now dealing with, she's a surrogate mother now. She's got a young woman who she's dealing with who has drug problems. And she's never had a child, so she doesn't really quite know what she's supposed to do as a mom. And so she calls in Owen's mother, and she says, what am I supposed to do? How do mothers behave? And she said, our job as a mom, we are boat builders. And Emily said, oh, so you mean I should get like the hammers and nails out and stuff? She said, hello, no. We're not physically building a boat. We're not beating them in the head and hammering them with nails. No. What we're doing is creating a foundation and a vessel so that our children can sail away from us, because that's their job. They will sail away. And our job is to create and build a foundation, a boat that is sturdy enough for them to do that and possibly come back home one day. But our job is to set them up to leave. We're boat builders. That's one description. We're boat builders. A mother is a champion for you. Okay? There is no one who had my back like my mother. If someone was talking to me, my mom was short, she would jump on top of a table if she needed to and say, oh, you want some of this? You're talking about my kids? I don't think so. So there is no one that is a greater champion for you than your mother. She can talk about you, but nobody else can. Okay? She can talk about you like a dog, but no one else can. And no one champions you more. My mother was my biggest fan. Your mother is your biggest fan. Everywhere you go. Oh, hey, did you know that my daughter, did you see the painting did you see the whatever it is you did? It's the greatest thing in the world as far as she's concerned. And we all need that. We all need someone to champion who we are and what we do. Our mother's a guardian. What are you watching? What is it? Who do you have? I remember, because they see everything. They see everything. And I remember my daughter, she was dating this gentleman who I felt was beneath her. And at some point, they split up. And he had the nerve to leave her. What? What now? So I said to her, I use words I'm not going to use up here. But you can understand you probably know what I said. And this is he's stupid. Is he brain dead? Is he crazy? You are fat, blah, blah, blah. And so finally she said to me, Mom, I can't talk to you about stuff because this is what you always say. I need to talk to somebody who has a more realistic, or there's nothing more real than let me at him. This is what mothers do for you. This is what your mother will do for you. No one is your biggest promoter. No one is your guardian. Mom sees everything. And when you are not feeling well, who do you want? Okay? I've talked to you about a mother's touch, which is a song my sisters and I wrote. Because when we were feeling bad, all my mother had to do was come and lay her hands on us. And we felt better. That's all a mother has to do, is just to look at you, put their hands on you. And they know what you're going through. And they would take it from you if they could. And you know this too. You know this too. So a mother is a comforter. She's always got a bowl of chicken soup or some other nasty thing you don't want to eat. I see some amens in the back. My cousins, I love it. My little nephews and nieces, my mother's grandchildren. When we get together for family stories or family time, and there's always stories. Some stories we've heard over and over because they're hysterical. But the one story is my mother and the mentholatum. Mentholatum fixes everything. Okay, all right? Mothers know this. Kids don't know, but mentholatum fixes everything. You got a headache, we're going to rub some on your temple. Your feet ache, I'm going to rub some on your feet. You got a cold? Let's put some on your temple. I mean, it's like that guy from, what was it, from My Big Fat Greek Wedding and the whole Windex. Right? Just put some Windex on it. Put some mentholatum on it. It's all done. So mothers have a magic potion, and it's not the mentholatum. It's obviously her touch. It's just her and her caring for you. And that's who mothers are. They're full of love. They're teachers. They teach us things that maybe we don't necessarily want to know. Maybe we don't get the lesson right then and there, but we'll get it sooner or later. But I think this one got it right away. Let's go. We're done. All right. That's a mother who knows how to teach. She didn't have to say anything. She just said, oh, this is where you want to be? Let me show you what that looks like. Our mothers are our advisors as well. They share with you information, as I did with my daughter, about how great she was. It didn't matter what some idiot said to her. I could tell her, you are fantastic. You are great. But we advise them, we mothers know what you are capable of before you do. Mothers have your back. They stand in the gap for you. Mothers are your best advisors. Because not only do they know what you can do, they know what you are capable of, much greater than you, because they believe and know for you before you can. Mothers are wise. Sometimes, and the reason I usually have, this is going. Okay, because mine isn't going. Okay. Can you do the next one, or? Okay. I'm going to go on, and then you catch up. That's fine.
Are there any handouts?
I didn't do handouts because they're all pieces. I want you to focus and it's just a, there's no information. There's just hopefully fun stuff that we can all agree with. But mothers are wise, and sometimes they know they can't just advise you. They just have to let you do it. They just have to let you fall. And sometimes, is it there? Sometimes you will fall, and sometimes you won't. What they know is there's a lesson to be had. We don't know who's going to have the lesson. Thank you, John. We don't know who's going to have the lesson. Maybe it's your child, or maybe it's you. But they're willing to do it. My son is what we call a conciliator. He is one of those kids that he doesn't meet strangers. We would go to the beach. It's literally, we'd be at the beach in Malibu, and I'm looking around the blanket, where is my child? Just gone. And he's 3, 5, he's just gone. Up and down the beach, looking for him, and I see him sitting on someone else's blanket, just eating their hot dog, just eating their food, like he belonged to this family. That's who he was. So we had taken a trip to Magic Mountain. And I said to him, Magic Mountain, it's a big place. And I said, son, you can't keep wandering off. You're going to get lost. And I knew it was falling on deaf ears because he's a knucklehead. All right? Mothers know this too. So I said to him, listen, should you get lost or, get away from me? And I showed him one little place. These are places where you can go in there, tell them you're lost, and they will make a loud announcement, then they'll find you. So, should you get lost? And of course, pretty much right after I said that, he took off. He was gone. And I said to him, I'm going to be sitting here, I'm going to be reading. I'm going to be sitting here reading. So he took off. And I sat there and reading. I said, Spirit, you're going to have to handle him because, he's gone. I'm sitting there, and I knew either he or I was going to learn something. So I'm sitting there reading, and here comes my son. He's going, hey, Mom, hi! He's walking up by, he sees me, he's saying hi, and he goes off someplace else. And then 15, 20 minutes later, he comes, hi, Mom, hi! And you go on by. So the lesson was for me. He was able to do it. I had to let him go. He was older or more capable than I knew him to be. I was willing to let him fall. He didn't. He could have, but he didn't. And this is what we do. We help you to grow. We have to grow too, and we're willing to do it. That's what mothers do. We have to let it go. We'll also pick you back up if you do fall. That's what we do. We'll let you fall. But we'll pick you back up. You won't be gone. We won't be down long. And hopefully you'll have learned something. Your mother is your conscience. Can you see her? Can you hear her? When you get ready to go do something? I think you know better than that. You can, right? I don't think so. No. You can see that look. Wherever you go, mom is right there with you when you're about to do something. So they show us what is right and what is wrong. They have an infinite amount of patience. Mother is patient because they know patience achieves everything. At some point, they're going to grow and grow away from us. They're going to come, they're going to learn. There's so much that our children, those who we are in charge of, need to do. And we will have the patience and the love to let that happen. So mothers are patient. That is another word for mothers. Mothers are superheroes. All right? And didn't drop a thing. Boom. I got you, baby. I got you. Mother's a terrorist. Have you ever had this look? Have you ever had this look? And you know when this look came, you need to get somewhere and sit down. Huh? Okay, so hands on the hip. You know this look. We all know this look. We've had it. We've given it. So she's a little bit of a terrorist. She's also a romantic. She showed me how to love by loving my father, by showing me. I remember coming home. Coming home from school. I'd be at home from school. And my mother, there was a mirror by the entranceway. My mother would walk up to the mirror, put her lipstick on and stuff. And I said to her, I remember this conversation, I said, "What are you doing, Mom? Are you going somewhere? What's happening?" She said, "No, your dad's coming home. Your dad's coming home." She was excited, and we get dressed up because my father was coming home, and she was excited to see him. I learned a lot about love and relationship. By example, we learn from our mothers by example. And it's really interesting because as you're growing up, and it's the right thing to do, it is what we do. We grow up to a certain age, and around 11 or 12, we start to distance ourselves from our mothers, our parents, because we need to test out what we know. We need to become our own person. And we don't want to be like them. I don't want to be like Mom. Heaven help me. And then, yes! And we find ourselves saying stuff because I said so. Get somewhere and sit down. Oh my God, is that Mom? Who said that? It is the natural order of things, and we will be, and we are much more like them than we want to be, but it's a good thing. Mom is our historian. She's a record keeper. She is a social person. She tells our stories and she keeps our secrets. There's nothing you can't tell your mother figure. Nothing. And she will take it to her grave. It's yours and hers. And that's it. She's also a historian, though. Mom, what's her name? The aunt in Houston, what's her name? Oh, yeah, that's Bobby Jean. And her kids are, just always keeping you up on the family. That's what mothers do. They're historians. And finally, she is her own woman. She will do what she wants to do. And that is what she has taught us to do. Be your own self. Be yourself. Be your own self. So, love is endless. And I started off, and I meant to, I'm sorry, I got kind of sidetracked. I wanted to start off by calling up a couple of gentlemen, so I will call you up now. I meant to call you up earlier, but David, would you come up, please? And Glenn, would you please come up? Paul, would you please come? And Harvey, please come. There are some roses in the back, and there are scrolls. Would you please grab a rose and a scroll and give to every woman in this room? Right there. Thank you. I meant for you to have the roses while I was talking. I'm sorry. So I want you all to know that you are loved, that a mother's love is endless, and that we here at Harmony Spiritual Center see you and appreciate you and all the love and care that you do for us here at Harmony Spiritual Center. Thank you so much for being here. I was talking with someone this morning. I won't give her name because I didn't ask her for permission, but I will talk about this. Love never dies. It is always with us. And if we believe that God and us, that we are immortal, that life is eternal, then that means that those who've gone on before us, who crossed the veil, who are no longer physically with us, are actually energetically still here with us. I talk to my mom, my sister, and my aunt all the time. They've gone on, but they are here with me. I want you to know that love never dies, literally. It is always with you. And whoever loved you and has gone on is still loving you. Still loving you and watching out for you and wanting nothing but the best for you. We celebrate a mother's love today because a mother's love shapes us. It tells us who we are and believes in us for what we can be. A mother's love builds unshakable confidence in who we are. I can walk in a room and I don't care who's in it or who might think I'm not supposed to be there. My mama already told me I belong anywhere I walk. Your mother did the same for you. Wherever you go, that's where you're supposed to be. That's where you're supposed to be. And that's what a mother's love does for us. Shapes us, builds unshakable confidence, and it's never ending. Thank you for being here today. We have some more in the front that didn't get them yet? Yes. If you do not have one yet, please raise your hand to make sure you get one. Does every woman in the room have one? Do you have one? Do you have one? Do you have a flower? Do you have a flower? No, this way. Do you have a flower? Do you have one? Yeah, everybody has a flower? Okay. Everybody's got one? Okay. And yes, please give Jim, we'd like for you to give your wife one from us, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the band can come back up, please. I'm going to finish this up with a song that my sisters and I wrote for my mom. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's called Thank You. Hey, I remembered. This is only because she came up. Thank you. It's called A Mother's Touch.
I can do anything 'cause somebody loves me. I can be anyone 'cause somebody cares. I can go anywhere that my heart can hold and love and bear. I can do Somebody held my face and pain fell away. Somebody whispered my name and somebody prayed. And when she looked at me, he told me I would be okay. Somebody touched me, my mama touched me, my mama cares. A mother's touch dries all the tears. A mother's touch found all the years. A mother's touch reaching through the years. There's nothing that means so much unless this mother's touch. I can't do anything 'cause somebody loves me. I can't go anywhere 'cause somebody cares. I can't do anything that my heart can hold and love and bear. I can't do anything. Somebody touch me. Somebody cares. There have been times when I needed a friend, some kind of sign that I'll be alright again. And with the touch and smile, it said I would be okay. Oh, now I can't do anything. My mama touched me, my mama cares. A mother's touch reaching through the years. A mother's touch calms all my fears. A mother's touch dries all my tears. There's something that means so much about a mother's touch. I can't do anything 'cause somebody loves me. I can't go anywhere 'cause somebody cares. I can't go anywhere that